So, Pablo, welcome to the Private Label Show podcast. Thank you so much for agreeing to have this conversation with me. I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions about your journey with the Accelerator 2.0 program, with your journey with Amazon, etc. But before we get into the weeds of things, tell me a bit more about your life before you joined the Accelerator 2.0 program, before you started selling on Amazon.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Ryan, for having me. We've been talking for a long time now, probably 2, 3 years.
Yeah,
But just a little bit about me. I've been working probably for, again, the past 2, 3 years at an import-export company. So we develop products for retail stores, supermarkets, mainly in South America. So I've always had a somewhat of experience in developing products, but we always sold to, just as I said, supermarket, retail stores, and I've always wanted to sell on Amazon. I've actually tried in the past and not been very unsuccessful, basically breaking even and or even losing money, and I didn't really know how to handle it. I didn't even know ad campaigns, so
yeah.
I was very unsuccessful at it. And then I also worked for an Amazon management company where we managed private seller accounts, from coffee to jewelry to everything, and that's where I kind of learned how to and before you're blowing up. But we got to speak a little bit on that, and I asked you a lot of questions, and you helped me out a lot with that. And yeah, now I'm here. I'm now developing my second product. I'm selling one product pretty consistently, and yeah, that's it.
For sure, man. No, it's been definitely been a journey. I remember, I think when we first met, right? I think you took my course, right? Or you asked me a question before. You took my course, and then we had a random conversation. It was like 3 a.m. in the morning in London time, and I think it must have been evening for you in Miami there. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely been a journey. We've kept that dialogue, and now you're in the program, which is crazy, dude. It's been
yeah.
definitely been a bit of a journey, man. But just for the listeners and the viewers, if you're watching this on YouTube, what is your first couple of months been like in the Accelerator 2.0 program, and like kind of what did that look like? So just take us back to kind of when you joined the program and what your first couple of months were like, and then how long did it take you to find your first product?
Yeah. So I think I started because I started right after I graduated. I graduated August last year, so August 2022. Probably more at the end of it. I would actually say the first week of September. So my first couple of months was basically um, doing the biggest part, which is product research.
Yeah,
I was watching those videos. I set up meetings with you, and of course, it was challenging. And looking back, it's like, wow, that did take a little bit of time, month or 2 month. But it's really, I wouldn't even say that it took 1 to 2 months to find the product. It's just to kind of find momentum and kind
yeah,
of a flow of finding the product. This product didn't work, go to the next one or go to the next thing. So that's kind of like trying to get that equilibrium
yeah, for
and
sure.
that balance of like, okay, I need to take a break because I've just been like searching Amazon products for two
Product
three
research
hours
fatigue.
and
Yeah,
yeah, yes, exactly. Like one of your episodes, because that
yeah,
really is the thing. You get fatigue,
it's
kind of
true.
like, oh my gosh, this isn't it, and like you finally find a product and you get all the way to the end, and it's the margins or the price, and it's a really
It's brutal.
long process. It's not hard.
Yeah,
It's simple, but it's a really long process. So yeah, the first two months was finding that product, but I would say after you find the product and you're going through the sample things, I feel like it's like you can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel much more clearly.
for sure.
So for those 2 3 months was that just like taking time to really focus on how to most efficiently find a product and do that product
For sure,
research.
for sure. I think product research, just because I'm going through product research right now, I'm launching a couple of new
Hmm.
products, and it gets easier, but it's still the same process. So you still got to do the same stuff. You're looking for the same metrics. You're looking for the same thing. So I think for newbies, when you haven't done it before, it definitely is the hardest because you always second guess yourself. You're like, is that a good idea? You always see something bad in it that prevents you from moving forward. So definitely product research is something that people struggle with, both experienced and, beginners as well. So definitely key part of the process. But then let's just take us through your product launch, right? So it's like you've got your product now. You've done the research, you've done all the marketing stuff, you've got your images done, listings optimized. Take us through your first 30 days of selling your product on Amazon. How did that go? What kind of revenues were you able to generate in that month, and kind of what does that look like? Tell us a bit more about that.
So, for the first month, right when I got my first product, I did very well. There did very well in terms of I was extremely aggressive in ad campaigns, but
Yep.
I only was that aggressive because, as I said before, I used to work for an Amazon management company. So if you don't have an established brand, if you don't have a big name out there, you need a lot of data to make really efficient ad campaigns
Yep.
because if you don't have a big brand presence, you're not going to have that well of organic rank, especially you don't have reviews and all those things. So I was very aggressive with my ad campaigns because that's something we would do, and that's something that I learned working at that company, where you have to be extremely aggressive if you
Yep.
want to kind of make a name for yourself and in the algorithm.
For
So I
sure.
was I was actually surprised myself because right when you start a product, you have zero reviews, no clout, quote
Yeah.
unquote, for the Amazon algorithm. And I was lucky. I sold out. I think I did 14,000 in revenue in like 25 days.
Wow.
Granted, I spent a lot of on ads, so my margins could have been much, much better. But
Yeah.
for example, now on the second shipment, my ads are extremely efficient. I'm spending, half my, or I would say even a quarter of my daily budget of what it was my first month, and now I'm gonna, profit this month, and instead of like kind of, what I did the first month of breaking even, and I spending a lot of money, but you know you kind of have to do that because it tells you which words work, which competitors work um, to campaign against them, and all these other things that you learn on the way, and it kind of
Yeah.
speeds up the process instead of like, I have this budget, I'm only going to spend this month. Now you have to do that for 3-4 months, instead of like if you kind of get aggressive for a month or two, you can get an extremely immense and good amount of data to use.
100%. 100%. It's difficult in the beginning because you don't know what's going to work, so you kind of have to throw everything at all the
Yeah.
keywords, broad campaigns, phrase campaigns, ASIN targeting campaigns, and then once you get over that first couple of weeks of spending, you can find out what's working, double down on that, and anything which isn't working, you can obviously peel back a little bit. So super, super, super cool. 14 grand in 25 days sales revenue. That's insane, man. With I know in the beginning you had like no reviews, right, for a long time,
No,
and then you got a
no
couple of reviews,
reviews.
and you were still ripping
Yeah,
with no reviews, which is
yeah,
absolutely crazy, man.
it
Cool,
was
man. That
crazy.
that's insane. So I guess fast forward to today. So what does the business look like today? So you got product number one selling. Is product number two in the horizons? Like where are we at with that?
For the second product, I ordered the samples, so I'm waiting on that. Because you helped me out with checking out the margins, and actually, just a kind of side note for this product, this was one of the products that, just like you were saying, that sometimes you just keep second guessing, and I had
Yeah,
on the list, and then you were just like, dude, let's just go through these products and see, maybe there is one that's, and I'm like, no, this one
yeah,
is undiverse, or maybe in the margins or something. He's like, and you were like, just let's check it out,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we checked it out, and you're like, Pablo, this product is perfect. Why
yeah,
haven't you?
yeah, yeah,
And it's just because of that second guess. You really want that product, and since the first product, as I just said, it went so well. That's what I was worried about, and so that's why it's really good to have you guys as a guide. Like, hey, another set of eyes that knows exactly what they're doing. So now I'm in the sample product process, and I'm just taking notes of what the competitors are saying. I mean, what the reviews are saying about my competitors, what things I can fix on the product. So while the shipment's on the way, I mean, the samples are on the way.
yeah,
I can kind of see what I need to start thinking about. Is it changing the color, is it adding an accessory, is it doing any of these things to make my product a little different. That's the process that I'm going. but
yeah.
but as I said, once you find the product that this is it, it's like now I see the light at the end of the tunnel, because now I know where it can lead to.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. What I like about your second product you've picked as well is that it's still within the same niche as your first one, and that isn't always possible. So something, a lot of people get hung up on, oh, it's going to be really difficult to find a product that is like in the same brand or create a brand out of this. And I always say to people, like in the beginning, don't worry about that too much. But for your product, it's an added bonus that is in the same niche. So that's like super cool. You can't always do that. So it's great that you've been able to do that as well, which is really, really good. And I guess just the last couple of questions from me then is, what does the next 6 months look like for you with your Amazon FBA business?
So I think my next 6 months is my goal is to develop this product and try to do two more. If I do one more, my goal was three products in 1 year, have them developed, and I'm not talking about just finding them. I want like three products live on Amazon
Yeah,
by the time I started. So that's by September, which I think the goal is very, very possible. But that's exactly what it is to and to really master and bunker down product research.
yeah,
So I've been doing that, I think, much more efficiently. I was telling you the last couple of meetings because, again, even after my first product, I was still kind of like, damn, what do I look for now? How do
yeah,
I go deeper? And I just did all of these ways. Now what's the other way? Because there is not just one way to find a product. I mean, you
for
can find
sure.
a product on Amazon, on new releases, on Pinterest, on Etsy, on Instagram, on TikTok. You can find, the possibilities are endless. So it's kind of like, hey, taking a break from one way to another and being a little more efficient with that, I think will lead to my goal of finding another product and hopefully, doing four by September that generate, a good amount of revenue that's worth it.
For sure.
And that is definitely my goal. It's definitely just to keep growing the products. I mean, the number of products that I'm selling on Amazon, and yeah, keep it going because now that I am doing it, it's like kind of realizing, oh wow, it's actually extremely, extremely possible.
100%. I think a lot of people they think about the world of e-commerce, especially selling on Amazon. They see these figures that fly around, and they think it must be impossible to do that. But I mean, I think you probably had one of the out of all the students that we have, you definitely had one of the best debut products where you're able to generate crazy revenue, and that I guess it makes it kind of difficult for your second product as well, like trying to find something that can match that. So I think you got a challenge on your hands there, but it definitely once you start selling through and seeing what's possible in the world of e-commerce, it definitely opens your eyes to how money works and ability to generate money, which is absolutely crazy. I guess final question from me then is, a lot of people listening to this podcast are going to be exactly in your shoes before you join the program, thinking about Amazon FBA, wondering, hey, how do I get started? Thinking about, what are the main things I can do to kind of put myself in the best position to start. But saying that, I guess, what are the 3 tips you would recommend to new Amazon sellers or people just starting this?
Three tips. Give me a second to think
Sorry,
about this.
I put you on the spot a little bit there, my man.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. But I would say three tips is, well, the first is hunker down product research. That's
Yeah,
definitely the one, the biggest one, because as I said, I even had experience of managing accounts before, but that experience truly meant nothing if you don't have a product or if you don't know the product to sell. So having a really, really good idea of what you need to research, what metrics in terms of revenue, reviews, search volume, like having those kind of simple rules, blueprint that can guide you to find a product. I think that's number one.
yeah,
Number two, I would say, is search volume and keywords. Why? Because it shows you exactly the demand for that product. And then also in terms of keywords, it gives you a lot of data of what you can use for your ad campaigns. So
yeah,
understanding what those metrics are, competing, like, what the keyword, the things on, for example, Helium 10, competing products, search volume, trend, all those things help extremely a lot in being more efficient in your ad campaigns.
for sure.
And number three, let's see. Number three, I would say number three is being extremely organized.
Yeah,
So what I
true.
mean by organized is, if you're doing product research, kind of writing down, hey, I just researched this way and it didn't work. So kind of you can go back on your notes and say, okay, I tried this way and I kind of found something. So let me keep
Yeah,
going down this way. Or I just found that this has no chance. So now you waste your time looking at it again. I think that would be my biggest tip because in the beginning I was just trying to do everything at once and I didn't have it organized and that led to inefficiency. And to really do this right, you have to be extremely efficient, not
yeah,
just in searching the product, but also in the keywords and search volume, like I said before. So yeah, I guess one would be product research. Two would be understanding keywords like, search volume, competing products, all those things. And then three is being really organized in your methodology. Because if you don't have any organization, you're just going to be lost, because
Yeah,
Amazon is a big, big, big monster, and
for sure.
it's a labyrinth, really. So if you
There's a
don't
lot
have
of
those
data.
things down,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for sure. Crazy, man. Well, Pablo, that's everything I had. So thanks very much for agreeing to have this discussion with me. I hope people listening find it useful, especially if you're kind of a new beginner and you can kind of see the potential of Amazon. Guys, make sure you tune into our next episode. And if you are interested in the Accelerator 2.0 program, just click the link in our description, book a call with us. We'd love to speak with as many of you as possible. So Pablo, thanks again. And yeah, I'm sure we'll catch up soon in an individual meeting. I'm gonna
Yes,
close it
yes,
now, but
sir.
we can still chat.
Yes, sir.